Okay, y'all, it's me again. I'm gonna do this video, and I'm doing it. It's not gonna be on Facebook, first of all, because this is a private video. It's a message to the family. Okay. And a lot of you, I might not have your phone number or a way to contact you, or you're not my Facebook friend or what have you. So I have to do it this way so I can at least send it to you or someone that you might have contact with, so you'll be able to see it or at least hear about it or something. So here goes. Um, Mildred was over here for a couple of months, and I loved having her. We went to a powwow with the Salish Indians in Seattle, and we got to dance with them and everything. And I put everything on Facebook. I post stuff, pictures and all that on Facebook. She took a picture with this tall Indian with this headdress. I mean, it was nice. And, she was like, oh, I'm going to take a picture with him. She went over there and asked him, well, okay, sis, do you? And I took a picture with her sister. So it was nice. It was fun. We had a good time. And then I took her to the waterfalls, the Snoqualmie waterfalls. That was wonderful. She loved it. And then we didn't get to go to Mount Rainier. I don't think she really wanted to go there. I did want to take her, but it was like the falls did it. And then, where else did we go? The powwow, the falls. We would go to the park all the time, and that's where the lake is, the Bradley Park. We would go there. Me, her, and Micaiah would always go there and walk around, do a lap like around the lake. There was, and it's cut out into the woods, when you walk in the woods. It's beautiful. It's past a trail, everything is nice. So we used to do that when it wasn't too hot outside, because she was here in the summer. So we would do that. So we have fun. We went somewhere else, I forget, but okay, so we had fun. And I tried to take her as much as I could, take her out. And I wanted her to see Washington. And even sometimes when Tiffany had catering gigs, like the one time we went far up in the mountains. So driving, you could see the, I would say caverns, but it was like downhill. You could see all that. You could see the mountains. You could see houses up in the mountains. She would always flip every time. Oh my God, look at those houses up in the mountains. You know how Mildred is. And Mount Rainier is like right in the backyard. So when she saw that, she was like, oh my God, this mountain is snow. And, so I love my sister. Oh my God, I love her to death. So we had a good time while she was here. And also while she was here, I say the second day after she was here, I got her started up with the insurance. That is a good thing about Washington State. It even happened to us. Like when we got here, the next day we signed up for the insurance and automatically got it. Now it's state insurance, but it's good. It's good state insurance. You go to good doctors and you see good people. So it was good. And got her signed up, with a primary care doctor, with a psychologist, because she was saying she was feeling depressed and sad and blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to make sure that was okay. Got her signed up with a neurosurgeon because I wanted them to have a hand in all this too, and got her signed up with physical therapy and speech therapy. And the reason why I got her signed up with so many things is because some of those things she was already doing in Jersey, but because another primary reason for her coming over here was to get started on the disability, and I had to help her with that. I knew the more information you have that you can give to them, and that makes less work for them to have to dig for stuff, or if they do dig, then they find it, then that helps you out. That helps to build your case. So she was seeing doctors in Jersey, and she went to the hospital in Jersey. So I made sure that the doctors over here got all that paperwork and all the notes, and everything. So they had the same thing over here. So once they started digging, then they would have everything and they can just take it off. So that's what we did. I took her, we went back and forth to the Social Security office, and just did stuff. I did stuff online. I researched stuff online. I did stuff because I didn't know nothing about having to sign up for, disability or anything like that. But we got it all done. So she's now in the waiting process, and hopefully they'll give her a good amount, and she'll be able to do what she has to do. Um, also got her signed up with EBT, so she gets that, automatically. But she is now back in Jersey, and this is part of the reason why I'm doing this video. Okay, guys, me and Tiffany, we're over here, and we're like 3,000 or something miles away from y'all. Okay, and we can't do as much being over here. While Mildred was here, we did everything that we could possibly do. I mean, I was running up and down the streets. I took her to Seattle because I want her to go to the best doctors. So I took her to the doctors in Seattle, Swedish healthcare, because they are the number one in the state. So I wanted her to get the best care. I wasn't about the BS. Not with my sister. You're not going to do that. So I took her. She got the best. And I didn't mind doing it. It was like, she got to go. I just wanted to help her, because she needed it. Because when she was in Jersey, there was nobody that could or that wanted to or that offered to help her get disability. She had a stroke in 2018. Shortly after she had the stroke, I don't know how shortly after, but it was shortly, she went back to work. She should not have went back to work at all. The doctor told her that she should not go back to work, but she begged and pleaded with him and this and that and the other, and he finally said, okay, but take it easy. Well, Mildred works in the deli. So, first of all, it's a feat for her to get there because she has to, get dressed. When she gets dressed, she has to come outside. She has to walk to the bus stop. She has to catch the bus. She has to go there in any kind of weather. It could be hot. It could be snow. It could be rain. It could be ice. She had to be to work. Okay, and she did. She worked long hours. She was on her feet walking around. She was on her feet just standing. She had to take orders from people. She had to lift things. She had to work. So I'm not trying to kick anybody's back in. That's not why I'm doing this video. Please understand. But I'm going to speak the truth. Her significant other didn't do his due diligence and say, babe, you just had a stroke. The doctor does not want you to work. I don't want you to work either. You should not be working. You should be drawing disability or unemployment or something. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to first see if we can draw unemployment. Once you get your unemployment and that starts coming in, once it's about to go out the window, be done with, then we'll go and we'll start you on your disability. Or we'll just start you on your disability and just ride it out. He did not do that. She went back to work shortly after, and she wound up messing herself up, making herself even worse. Okay. She did tell me after she had her stroke, she had to learn how to walk, she had to learn how to talk, she had to learn how to do a lot of different things. So I'm like, well, damn, I didn't know all this, Prior to her coming over here, I knew none of this. All I knew is she had stroke, but it seemed like she was doing fine. I would talk to her. Everything seemed fine. I didn't know all this. So she comes over here because she's having some issues over there, and, things aren't, up to snuff. So she comes over here, and, she came over here to get away, to have a break, but also so I could help her with her disability. I'm like, well, you come over here, sis, I'll help you, this and that and the other. Now, I live in a gated community. It's very nice over here. It's very clean, very well kept, and people mind their manners. We are not allowed to have visitors stay for a long period of time. If we have a visitor or a guest coming from out of town or anywhere, they can stay for a week, and then after that they cannot stay for a week. If they do and it is found out, then we will have to pay an extra $200 or $300, whatever number they choose. That's what it says in our lease and the policies. I read it. It says that we would have to pay that. And so we weren't trying to pay extra on top of the rate that we already have to pay, because these are considered luxury apartments, so we pay for luxury. And I ain't gonna tell you how much we pay, but we pay pretty good. We pay a lot. So having that extra would have been a lot. So it was like, no, we can't do that. So She stayed with me for like, I think like a month and a half until it started to get a little sticky. Like, okay, she gotta go because they gon', they gon', you know. So it's gonna be a problem. Um, so she stayed with Tiffany, and Tiffany has her own house, so she doesn't have any stipulations or whatever to do whatever else she wanted to do. So Tiffany has a garage that she wasn't using to park the cars. It was actually her office and her, wherever she would keep all her cooking stuff and everything was in there. So she, removed her office, put her office in her bedroom. And then she had Mildred take that area down there, put her bed down there, TV, dresser, all that other kind of stuff, down there for her to be comfortable. And she could either stay down in there or she can come up and sleep on a couch. Mildred liked the idea of the garage because it was private. She had her own door and this, that, and the other, so she could have privacy. So with that being said, she was over there. I think more so it was a problem with the bed because we got her a bed, but it had two mattresses on it, and even though it was a twin bed and the mattresses were kind of thin, they were still, somewhat elevated. So I think that was a problem, but it was an addition to a problem. She would go to sleep at night, and I don't know, I guess she's used to rolling, or, when she was back at her house, at her place in Jersey, she had a full-size bed. This is a twin. So, I guess she was used to rolling and this and that and the other, or something, I don't know. But for some odd reason, she fell on the floor 3 times. Now, while she was over at my house, she never fell on the floor. She slept on the couch because, I live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and I have a couch. It reclines back and this and that, but she slept on the couch and she was fine. The couch is quite comfortable. But anyway, she never fell over here. So, she fell, first time she hurt her arm, second time she hurt her thigh, third time she fell and had a bump on her knee and a bump on her head. So she called me and was like, I fell, she said, my head hurts and everything. I'm like, hey sis, I was like, why your head hurts? She was like, oh, I fell on the floor. I'm like, what, you fell? I was like, okay, I'll be right there. We're going to the hospital. No, it's not that serious. Yes, it is serious. She thought it wasn't that serious. That's why she didn't tell Tiffany that morning either before Tiffany left for work, because she thought it wasn't that serious. So I went over there, I saw the lump on the knee and the head. I said, come on, let's go. So took her to, urgent care, which is right next door to my house. Like literally, you walk out and you walk a couple of feet and it's like right there. It's so convenient. So it was like right there. So I drove, but she was at Tiffany, so I drove up here, dropped her off there and everything and picked her up when she was done. He said it was okay. She just had a mild concussion, and she was fine, she's okay. So I was like, okay. So, that was that. And I let Tiffany know, and of course Tiffany was upset and scared, and rightfully so, because when Mildred came down here, I think even before in Jersey, they might have thought it, but they just didn't have it down on paper. When she came down here, she was diagnosed with dementia. Okay, and she actually has early onset dementia, but the paper just says dementia, but it's early onset. Like an early onset means that it's just happening. It's just starting to happen. So with that, she is not supposed to be anywhere by herself. Okay, now my apartment, is bad enough because I live on the 2nd floor. So, of course, to get down and get to your car, to go outside or to walk anywhere, you have to go downstairs. It's a flight of stairs. God forbid she missteps or anything and she can fall down the steps and she's done. It's a wrap. These are cement steps. She ain't making it. Okay? And then I got a problem. My husband got a problem. We got problems. Tiffany has a house. It doesn't have any steps per se, except for maybe 2 steps that go down into the garage, and then maybe one you step off when you go outside to step into the yard. So she tripped down them steps or whatever. She ain't gonna really, she'll hurt herself, but she ain't gonna, it won't be the end. Okay. Unlike my place. Also, with my place, we have a pool and a heated jacuzzi, and it's in the gate, but sometimes, and you need a code to punch in the gate. Sometimes people try to keep the gate open because they want to run back to their house and get something, and they run back. Well, in the time of them running back, if it's somebody that's not supposed to be over there, even a child, God forbid, they fell in the pool and drowned or some crazy nonsense. Okay, we won't even speak that to the universe, but you get my picture. It wasn't really safe for her to be over here. That's why she went over there. And also, it was, against policy rules for her to be here for so long. So, she went over there. I was still helping her, get to the doctors, go pick her up and take her to the therapies and all that and do everything that she needed and take her shopping and, spend time with her, kick it. So after the 3 falls, and tell Tiffany, and she starts freaking out because of those reasons, it was like, okay, she cannot stay here because this is not safe. Okay, the straw that broke the camel's back was Mildred had took some laxatives. Okay, and she wanted to be close to the bathroom. So, if she had to use the bathroom, she could just go and use. So she slept on Tiffany's couch. So she got up and, went to the bathroom. She had to use the bathroom. She got up and she was making her way back to the couch. And she didn't say it was dark or anything, so the lights were more than likely turned on. While she was walking back to the couch, she said her legs felt like they just gave way. And she just fell. And when she fell on, she fell on something that she shouldn't have fell on. She didn't hurt herself, but, she fell. So that's, Tiffany was like, nah, it's too much falling. She fell and I can't, like it's too much. And she didn't tell anybody again. Except for me when I saw her later that day. And, it was like, sis, like you're doing a lot of falling. She like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just falling. I don't understand why I'm falling and this and that and the other and, just, falling. So I'm like, So I go home and do some research and I look up, does dementia cause falls, and I remember that when I worked in memory care, which dementia unit, and all of them had fall risk. We put leaves, like little leaves. Like some of the facilities did this, and they would have a leaf, and they would put a leaf by there, and they would tell you the rooms that have a leaf are people that are fall risk. And that darn near every room in that unit had a leaf. Because when you have dementia, okay, understand Mildred had a stroke. So she had a right-sided stroke. So when you have a stroke, a lot of things are affected. Your balance, coordination, judgment, you might have, troubling behaviors or bad behaviors. That's, going a little off center of the topic, but you might, you're going to have a myriad of things. But those 3 things, and that's why she was falling so much. Because it's like your brain is not making the connection with your muscles and your joints to make the proper moves. So a lot of times they misstep, or they think something is there that isn't, and they go to step over it and they wind up falling, or they kind of, if they're walking, they might walk and go a little bit far to the left, and bump into the next person or whatever, or, something, because they can't really judge the spacing. Like it's difficult. The brain just doesn't work like that anymore. So I understood, and I think that's why I had patience, because I understood what was going on medically with her. I understood it. And I work with people that, were going through it, or, whatever, had it, that type of thing. So when she had a stroke, because she had a stroke, it threw her into dementia, early onset dementia. Like, for example, a lot of us have, misplaced our keys. You come in a house, you might have bags, or you got the kids or whatever, and you just throw your keys down and on the counter and you doing other stuff. This isn't on Facebook Live, but I still gotta watch my words. You're doing other stuff. So you go and throw your keys down, you do whatever you gotta do. Then when it's time to go, it's like, oh crap, okay, where did I put my keys? They're not in your purse, they're not in your pocket, whatever. And you're like, okay, let me retrace or retract my steps. That's called total recall. We have that, people, normally have that. To say, okay, when I came in, I went to the kitchen, and then I went to the refrigerator, and then I went to the bathroom, and then I went to the bedroom, and then so you retrace, and then you normally can find what you're looking for. It's in one of those places that you were in. People with dementia can't do that. They have no total recall. It's gone, it's done, it's non-existent. So they can't do that. So their short-term memory is shot. It's shot. It's done. Their long-term memory is immaculate. They remember stuff from when they were babies in diapers. They remember stuff from when you were a baby in diapers. I mean, they remember the old stuff. Be it good or bad, they remember it. When the dementia gets worse, like maybe in the 4th or 5th stage, they actually start thinking that they're living in it, especially the bad stuff. And that can be very difficult for the caretaker and for the person as well. But needless to say, she's in the early stage. So, she has a lot of those issues, and she knows that she has early onset because the doctor told her she was going to have it and that it would get worse over time. But she still thinks that she's not at the stage. She thinks that it's not worse yet. And I think that was the worst thing he could have said to her. Because granted, it does. But for you to say that to a person that has dementia, oh, you have it, but it's going to get worse. It's making it sound like it's not really that much right now. It's not bad because, he said it was going to get worse later. I'm okay right now. No, you're not okay right now. Okay, you're not. She would, things would be where she would go into the kitchen, turn on the water, and maybe forget that it was running. That happened maybe once or twice. Not a big deal. Going to the kitchen, maybe leave the stove on because you take the pot off and you're doing other stuff, but you might just leave it on, by accident. Okay, not safe, but okay, maybe it happened once, twice. You go and you walk outside to go for a walk, and you forget where you live. You forget how to get back. That's a problem. Because with so many things going on, human trafficking, sex trafficking, organ harvesting, all that, they snatching people up left and right. It seems to be a lot of our people that are getting snatched up. You don't want that. But that happened. And I was scared when that happened because even though she found her way back, she said she still went up to a house that she thought was Tiffany's. God forbid who could have been there, who could have grabbed her, who could have done anything. Thank God. Thank the ancestors that did not happen. Okay. There's a lot of repetition. People with Alzheimer's, they repeat themselves. They say the same thing over and over again. A lot of times it's because they forgot that they said it. They do the same things over and over again. A lot of times it's because they forgot that they did it, or it's also a mechanism to try to get their brain to remember what's going on, even though it's not going to happen, but it's just, a function. Um, you get, they get depressed, they get sad, because they know, and she knows, but she's still who she is, and she still wants to do the things that she used to do, and she still wants to, she still wants to be who she is, but now she's limited in some of the things she can't even do. So just imagine having all your freedoms. You able to go out with your friends, you able to catch the bus, you able to catch the jitney, you able to walk anywhere you want to walk to, you able to drink liquor, you able to, go, you're able to do it all. Okay. And you've been doing it all for so many years. And all of a sudden, you can't do it. Imagine how you feel. Imagine if you couldn't do one of those things that you were used to doing. Now, imagine that it's a lot of things. You can't drink anymore because now you're taking medication that does not agree with the alcohol and you can't do it. Besides that, even if you weren't taking medication, which is very unlikely once you have a stroke, because you had a stroke, drinking is off the menu. Can't do that. If you were smoking cigarettes or smoking anything, you better stop. Certain things that you were eating, because you have other health issues, and alongside with the stroke, now you can't eat those things anymore. Okay. You need somebody to help you remember stuff. You need somebody to either write it down for you or put it in your phone. And then you got to remember how to operate your phone so you can get to the messages and you can get to the reminders. Okay, that's another thing. You can't walk around as much as you used to. For fear of falling. You can't, I don't know. It's just so many things you cannot do. She said she forgot how to read, she forgot how to walk, she forgot how to talk, she had to relearn all that stuff again. Imagine not being able to relearn those things again, or learn them, but be it limited. That's where we're at. Okay, now, I talk to her quite often, maybe every other day, if not every day, and she seems to be, okay. She'll express her concerns on, whatever's going on or whatever, and I try to help her as much as I can over here, which I'm very limited because I can't do so much, but I try to do as much as I can. It just wasn't safe for her to be over here, so she went back. Upon her going back, we were told, and like I said, this is not a video to shame anyone or make anyone feel bad. And if you feel that way because you might figure out that something is being said about you, but I'm not saying any names, but if you feel that way, then I'm sorry. But I'm only going to speak the truth. I ain't going to sit up here and lie on you because this is not what this is about. And I don't have time to lie about you. If you did something and you didn't know that you did it, then I'm making it known. But if you didn't do something and I'm saying that you did it, please call me out on it. Call me and let me know that, hey, I didn't do it. But, if you did, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just saying this is where we're at. I'm just stating what was said to me. I'm not guessing that somebody did something. I'm not just sitting on my ass saying, yeah, making this shit up in my head. No, I'm repeating what was told to me, okay, by the source. Now, I was told before I sent Mildred home, me and Tiffany had a long discussion. We didn't want to send her back, but with Tiffany being so busy with her job, her company and working and everything else, and hardly ever home where she is, my baby girl is out. She ain't never home. Have to schedule a time in just so I could see her. so she ain't never home. With me about to start work back at the hospital, so I can get my you know career and start my business and everything, get my all my schooling done and everything. This is actually a good move for me. It's something I wanted to do. I don't have to work, but and that's why I had so much free time off in order to help her. So I'm very grateful for that. But now I want to get back to work so I can do what I got to do for my life so I can have something to leave behind for my children. So I'm going to be working back at the hospital and going to school and things of that nature and getting my life on track. Now, I say that to say we have helped Mildred as much as we can. Now, of course, we will never, you know, like, we ain't just gonna be like, oh, we ain't gonna help you no more. That's not the way it goes. But what I'm trying to say is while she was over here, we helped her. Tiffany sent for her. We got her over here and everything. And, we paid for her to go back, because we're just not going to be able to do it. If she could stay at my place, if they didn't have those rules and restrictions, she could stay here, it would be very unsafe because I have a pool. I have a heated jacuzzi. I have a flight of stairs. I have a balcony. I have a stove. I have things in here that are not safe for someone with early onset to be by themselves around. And, even if she, remembered, which she probably would, to turn off the stove, to turn off the water, to all that, that's secondary. I'm worried about the fucking steps, and or her getting turned around and not being able to find the apartment and all, just crazy stuff, or trying to walk around a corner to the store and God forbid, like stuff like that. That's what I'm worried about. Not safe. Even if she could have stayed here, which she couldn't. Going to Tiffany's was not safe either because Tiffany doesn't live around the corner to a store. You're going to have to get in a car. So that's, first of all, that's not an option. Secondly, all the houses are like cookie cutter houses, so they kind of, like, a lot of them look alike. So if you don't remember the numbers or the address, then you're going to wind up going to somebody else's house and, who knows what you're going to run into. Especially if you have dementia, because you're not going to remember numbers and you're not going to remember exactly where the house is. That was a problem. Then with the falling, that seemed to be happening more often than not. That was a problem also. Now, I say that to say this. When Mildred was over here, she had speech therapy, the physical therapy, the regular doctor, the psychologist that she did not want to see anymore because she just didn't feel like she was helping her. She felt that she was rude. She didn't want to do the exercises that the psychologist was telling her to do or whatever. So we stopped that. I ain't going to torture her like that. But she was